Thanks, Janine. Good afternoon, Dover. Is this a beautiful day or what? Blue sky, sunshine, springtime. I can introduce a resolution today in the U.S. Senate and says it's Monday. The sun is shining in Dover. The skies are blue. Gray. The skies are blue. The trees are budding. And you know what? I couldn't get 60 votes for it. I couldn't get 60 votes for it. But when Chris Coons is in the U.S. Senate, we'll get his vote. That's for sure. All right, Chris. Look at his family. Is this a beautiful family or what? Maggie looking like $1 million. Jack, Michael, and who is your mom? My Lord, right out of Central Casting. Good to see Annie. These two people met. Chris and Annie met. They didn't know each other. And as governor, I get to appoint a lot of people to serve on boards, commissions, and authorities. Is Laurie James here? Is Laurie James here? Laurie worked for me in the governor's office, and we're looking for some people. I think it was on the Commission on Volunteerism, and we're looking for somebody to serve. And I said, well, let's find somebody that's not married, and maybe they'll meet on the commission and fall in love and get married and have 3 beautiful children and maybe go on to serve in county government and clean up the county and provide great leadership there. And who knows, maybe go off to Washington. So we made the appointments, and Chris Coons and Annie met, got married, fell in love, and look, the rest is history. I rest my case. Is that constituent service? Is that constituent service? That is constituent service. How many of you know Chris Coons? How many of you know he went initially to Amherst? He went to school at Amherst, and his mom knows, Sally, great job raising this kid. You know, he was going nowhere until you came on the scene. He was double majors, I recall, science major, chemistry and political science. Now, how's that for a double science major? And later on, listen, where did he go to school? He could have, he couldn't get into Delaware, but he got into Yale, master's degree in divinity. And then they couldn't get into Widener, so he had to settle for Yale Law School. And then came on back here. Here's a kid who grew up with adversity. This family didn't have it easy at one point in Chris's life. But one of the things I love about him is, sometimes people who come up from humble beginnings and then end up really doing well, that sometimes they forget where they came from. Not this guy. What did he do when he was able to? He set up a foundation. He set up a foundation, and not just any old foundation, but a foundation that's designed to identify young boys and girls that have real potential, coming from really tough standing in their lives, really tough backgrounds. But kids who, if they ever had a chance, they could really be somebody, do something. And you know what he did? His foundation helped identify those young people, help them through middle school, help them through high school, with the idea that if they could get through there, that someone would be there to help them make sure that they could go through college. That's the kind of man that Chris Coons is. I've got more. I've got a lot more, pal. Chris Coons has more energy than any 2 people that I know. My wife, whenever I come home at night, a lot of times I'll get off the train and go out and do an event and see people and do something. On the weekends, we're up and down the state on Saturday, 3 Little League openings and all other kinds of stuff from one end of the state to the other, and finished up that night. This guy makes me look like a couch potato. He has more energy than any 2 people that I know. And it's starting to tick me off. But I love his energy. I love the fact that he genuinely cares about people. Sometimes our political leaders appear to like to give the impression that they do, but for him it comes right from the heart. And he somehow has managed to balance being our county executive in northern Delaware and Newcastle County. Before that, our county council president. Now our county executive, leading us in difficult times. This is not an easy time I was governor during easy times. I had 8 great years to be governor. With an economy that strong, even I looked like I knew what I was doing most days. But he's had the good fortune, misfortune, of being county executive of our largest county during the worst recession since the Great Depression. And being willing to provide the leadership to balance the budget, being able to provide the leadership to provide the services that are needed, to treat the employees in a humane and thoughtful way. He is the complete package. He is a complete package. He does, I think, a wonderful job helping to run our county government in northern Delaware. He is the real deal when it comes to being a husband and a father. And he is also, I think, as I said earlier, just a servant at his heart. Ted will tell you that throughout the course of a year like this, when we have the elections in November, throughout the course of a year, about every other week, a different candidate will come through and it be introduced by our majority leader to address our caucus and say, this is who I am and this is why I'm running. And sometimes they're pretty impressive. Sometimes not quite that impressive. We get them on maybe an off day. I've been going to these caucus lunches every Tuesday for, thanks to you, for about, 9 years. 9 years. And I want to tell you, the guy who made the most profound, lasting, positive impression was Chris Coons. Anybody here old enough to remember Hubert Humphrey? Hubert Humphrey used to be called, he was our senator from Minnesota, ran for president, almost won, and ended up as the vice president of this country. He exuded a sense of confidence, of optimism, of cheerfulness. His nickname in the political circles was Happy Warrior. Happy Warrior. Always out there fighting for folks, fighting for what was the right thing to do, but at the same time doing it in a way that exudes energy and happiness and positive thinking. Really appealing to the best spirits, the best angels in everyone. In a very real sense, Chris is that kind of person as well. Wonderful attitude. What Henry Ford used to say about attitude, he used to say, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Think about that. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. We need that kind of positive approach in leadership, and Chris is just full of that. And the last thing I'll say, he came into county government at a time when there's literally county government in northern Delaware had been under a cloud. You may remember that. And they came in to really wipe away the clouds, to blow away the clouds, to get rid of that, and just to replace that with an open leadership, a lot of transparency, just the kind of stuff that can make us all proud as Democrats, Republicans, and independents. This guy's got integrity right down to the bone. And what do they say about integrity? Here's what they say about integrity. Integrity, if you've got it, nothing else matters. If you don't have it, nothing else matters. This man has it all. He's the complete package. Dad, leader, candidate, a wonderful, wonderful human being. And I just want to say to Maggie and Jack and to your oh, go ahead and wave. Jack, go ahead and wave. Go on. All right. To Michael, Maggie, Jack, and to Annie. Thank you very much for sharing this guy with Newcastle County, for your willingness to share him with our state, and for your willingness to share him with our country. I want to say to Sally, thank you for raising one heck of a human being. God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next United States Senator from the state of Delaware, Chris Coons.